Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. We have the greatest possible news that we could have gotten, apart from a Luis Enrique sacking. Justin, Luis Enrique spoke to the players yesterday during training to reduce the tensions. Lucho went with the appeasement approach and explained that everyone needs to compensate and adapt, including Lucho himself. Enrique acknowledged the fact that he needs to loosen up a bit with the players and he was ready to do so. The players were surprised to see Enrique take the step forward to calm the tensions, but they all appreciate it very much. The club's management as always remains fully in support of Luis Enrique. The player now also want to pull in some direction, start winning games. Luis Enrique also spoke with the club's management at the end of last weekend. Both sides agreed on one point. They need to be more positive and more forward together. From Fabrice Hawkins. Look, we need to digest this report. There is so much in it, majority of it positive stuff. Justin, Luis Enrique spoke to the players yesterday during training to reduce the tensions. First of all here, great, love it from Luis Enrique. Obviously this should have happened before, but maybe Luis Enrique didn't know that much about how many players were unhappy by his styles. Maybe he thought it was only Dembouz and Kimpembe, who he talked to Dembouz already before. But yeah, Lucho finally speaking with all the players, and this is exactly what we needed. This is a mature response from Lucho. I didn't like reports before Lucho sees everything. He will clean up the squad, all of those like terrorism meanings and stuff. But no, Luis Enrique, very mature thing to do and a very great thing to do. Lucho went with the appeasement approach and explained that everyone needs to compromise and adapt, including Lucho himself. I mean, you know, this is why I always say like sack Lucho, because I never expected him to put his selfishness and egoistic, personality to the side. Obviously, it could be pressure from Nasser Khalifi to tell Luis Enrique, come on, Lucho. It's the entire team that don't like how you play football. You got to do something. But yeah, that he says something like that he has to compromise and adapt. For the team, I mean, I love to hear it. This is exactly what we've been, saying for such a long time with Luis Enrique. Enrique acknowledged the fact that he needs to loosen up a bit. Wow. So us losing all of the games in the UCL, all of that didn't make Lucho acknowledge that he has to loosen up a bit. It was the players basically doing a revolution inside of the club that made Luis Enrique understand the situation with the players, and he was ready to do so. The players were surprised to Enrique take the step forward to calm the tensions, but they all appreciate it very much. 100%. I think all of the players, especially the players that were most unhappy, like Dembouz and so on, when they see this, obviously it could just be a political thing, but I don't think it is, because Luis Enrique knows about his survival at the club and the tensions and the problems. So yeah, huge prop for Luis Enrique, but most of the prop obviously goes to the players, and this is why I've been supporting the players in this situation, because our players did what was needed. Nasser Khalifi couldn't put the pressure needed on Luis Enrique to adapt and adjust, like Barca, for example, did on Lucho. But our players, shout out, man. Shout out to Dembouz. Shout out to every single one that complained. Shout out to every single one. Because you guys maybe have revived the season. Nasser Khalifi wasn't willing to do so. He came out in press conference, lying about everything, saying everyone's happy in this. Just some bullshit. But yeah, shout out to Luis Enrique as well. I never expected this, and I have to give him props. The club's management, as always, and remains fully in support of Luis Enrique. The players also now want to pull in the same direction and start winning games. This could be the game changer. Now, like, the players were really unhappy about one thing. Lost, their fire to play for Luis Enrique, to fight for him. But now that Lucho has done this, this could be a restart in the season. This could be a major restart in the season. Lucho does some adaptations. The players fight even harder. I'm so excited, man. This is amazing news. This is perfect news. Superb news. Superb news. Why I was always so much on the Lucho out train, it was because I never expected Luis Enrique to do this. Because from what I saw with the extension to Luis Enrique and everything, I saw that Nasser just wants to give Lucho full comfortability and power, doesn't want to put any kind of pressure on him, even though we've been shit for such a long time. The players, as I said, shout out to them. Luis Enrique also spoke with the club's management at the end of last weekend. Both sides agreed on one point: they need to be more positive and more forward together. I know about being more positive, when it goes bad, you're not positive. You got to be critiqueful to fix the problem so that you become great. Obviously, Nasser, Campos, Lucho, they want to do this blind thing. And once again, shout out to the fucking players, man. I'm so excited for Auxerre. I'm excited for Salzburg. I'm excited for all the upcoming games now, because finally something has been made. We talked about adjustments. The club, everything, they wanted to put it on the players. Like, the only way PSG will get better is if we get better players. But now we'll see adjustments. So I'm so intrigued for the upcoming game versus Auxerre, the Salzburg game, and obviously we'll end, the 2024 calendar year with a lot of tough games. We have Lyon, Monaco, and Arcelon in the Coupe de France. Very tough games. I think 3 days between all of those games. So, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. And hopefully the tensions are going to be little. And I think if we start performing, if Lucho makes the right adjustments, gives a bit of freedom to the players that they have been complaining about, we start performing, we start scoring, the vibe gets better, and this gets forgotten and put behind us. Absolutely love it. As I said, shout out mostly to the players. They made this happen. They made this happen. Them boys! Them boys! They made this happen, man. Shout out to every single player. And as I said, shout out to Luis Enrique. Even though it took a lot of stuff for Luis Enrique to come to the conclusion that he has to compromise and adapt for PSG's best, I'm very happy at least he came to that conclusion. But mostly the negative stuff here, it's Nasser. This was Nasser's job to do, but the players had to do it for him. Absolutely embarrassing from Nasser Khalifi as usual. That's been it from your boy PSG. Amazing news finally with all of the negative news coming out recently. And as usual, that's been it from boy PSG. And as usual, allez, c'est Paris.